I think as a society is basically that. We have um
This is what you're interested in?
yes, man, it's just it's
Me,
just
honestly, bro, like me too, like so desperately want to talk about these things. And like I go for these runs and people think that that's all I'm about. For sure, I'm about that. As generalized and vague as it is, I'm interested in like institutions and how individuals are funneled into them. Like I'm so incredible because I'm only half Native American and I'm half
yeah.
Mexican American or Chicano American. I don't strictly identify with either, if I'm being honest with you. I was raised to be.
Yeah, man, that I think that's the systems and people are I wrote about it today for one of my blogs, and we're we're scared of freedom, man. And I say
Yeah.
that because we can yell at the top of our lungs and try to change these systems that are super fucked up
Hmm.
for the majority of us. And once we start seeing a movement, we start getting scared with, okay, wait. So if this changes, then what?
Hmm.
Then what protections do I have?
Hmm.
We're easily oppressed because they give us enough to pretty much survive. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Breads and
So
circuses.
if we
Yeah.
if we pull that power away from them, okay, then what? So then who's going to come in when I need this or that or whatever? I think that I don't know, man. This has completely like blown my mind just because um they're conditioning us worldwide to be fucking robots.
For sure. I
You
believe
know what I
that too.
mean?
I think that too.
And we, especially minorities, you look at like our history books taught around the world, they completely exclude minorities out of all of the work that they did,
Hmm.
we did, our ancestors did.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And paint themselves as superior. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, man. I've been having a hard time with just explaining myself. I think I'm still like trying to digest everything. And it's just like, what am I doing? You know what I mean?
I like writing things down myself because I was told by a not even a professor of mine, but just like a philosopher, a professor from I won't even mention where. Maybe we'll get into it. That writing is your expression of your words, which is an expression of your thought. And if you can clearly write down your ideas, then you have a clear thought. So I really enjoy writing. I'm glad that it caught somebody's attention as yourself.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people like messaged me and they're like, "You're such a really good writer," and I really do enjoy talking about these type of topics. Depression. I've skimmed over Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States,
Mm-hmm.
and I've skimmed over um, a lot of different books that have like completely, I wouldn't say like exploded my ideas of the type of society that we grew up in. It might be different because I grew up on a Native American reservation, and from a very young age, I realized, oh, we're part of this institution that we never accepted. And I'm about the same age as you. I'm 2 years younger than you. So I recognized before the internet was so prevalent and access to information was everywhere, I realized, like, oh, there's this subset of people that are ostracized. I'm talking about Native Americans
Mm-hmm.
that are ostracized because they don't accept this system. And I intimately understand who they are because that's half of my people. And I can go live in their houses. I can go see their ceremonies. And there's a lot of struggle there. There's a lot of backwards feelings there. There's a lot of just like any other community. But I can understand how like an outside group looking at them would say, like, why don't they just get a better job? Why don't they just go for money? Why don't they? Because those things a lot of the time don't mean anything for us. And I went to just reflecting back even immediately, I went to a Native American like film festival in Seattle. And this lady, I won't point out anything about her. I'll just say that she's a lady. She was explaining to us from the Yakima Reservation how she went to the Yakima Reservation and was talking about how it was so sad that this kid, his whole goal was to just work at a gas station. And like to someone like myself who understands and like my friends that were there with me who are also Native American, like just to not be on drugs, just to have something to eat, just to like lady like
You have no
yes,
idea.
yeah, you like I didn't we were just sitting there like all of us like just kind of like sitting there with the same thoughts in our head and just like thank God for that. Thank God that he can get up and make his own money. Thank God that he has something that he can go to and like be productive throughout the day. And that has nothing to do with like his cultural background. I don't know anything about this person. Maybe he's super spiritual.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
like he goes around healing people in the community. Maybe he like helps his little sister. I don't know anything
mhm,
about this
mhm,
person. But the same grace I give to that person that she was talking about, I give to her because
yeah.
she doesn't know. She doesn't come from the
That's
community
that
that I
yeah,
come from.
was she native or
Yeah, this is yeah. So she was a part of a group that got their recognition taken away. So
okay,
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is she?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just see, to say something like that to me is very ignorant, right? When you're saying, you know, for I mean, you're
She was trying to
speaking
come from a good
on
place. She was trying to, but like, yeah,
she missed because for a lot of us, that is making it.
yeah, yeah. So I think here in the Northwest, at least intimately in the tribe that I grew up around in, I'm Colville from like Spokane area, like Omak area. I wasn't raised there. My mom was adopted, and so like my mom is my native side, and so I have no ties to that area. But I grew up here in Yakima on in Wapato, and what's the point that I was trying to make? Um, there are natives here, at least this is my experience, that don't understand that the indigenous people of this continent go down further, go up higher. Well, they know like Canada is
Yeah,
like
yeah,
native,
yeah.
like First Nations, those are our people. But at least from the situations that I've seen growing up, and I'm speaking in generalities because I'll get to a point, I'll get to an example later. Native Americans don't recognize, at least in Yakima, at least in the small town that I'm from, I keep trying to like qualify this,
Mm,
that like indigenous people, the Olmecs, the Aztecs, the Incas, they don't know that those are they crossed the land bridge 20, 30,000 years ago. They're the same blood, they're the same people. Down in the Southwest is a different story. My children are half Navajo.
mm,
They seem to inherently know like what are these borders? They mean nothing to us. Like,
mhm,
yeah, we
mhm,
have family over there, or our people come from there, and we used to travel up and down. And so, the example that I wanted to use was like I'm half Mexican. A long time ago, I had an identity crisis, right? But I worked my way through it and um, recognized that we're all just human.
mhm,
I'm a
mhm,
human first, and I would go to Native American basketball tournaments, and I'm taller than you thought I was. So
mhm.
I grew up playing basketball, and that's how I got like cardiovascular. But sometimes they were exclusively Native American, like you can only be Native American, and I don't want to comment on that, but you can
Mhm,
imagine.
mhm,
And but people would know who I am, and they would see my last name, and they'd be like, "You fucking Mexican." And I'm like, "Bro, what the
mm,
bro? Half the team is my cousins." All right. Ultimately, I had to understand like, oh, the ignorance is on them and the hatred is on them, and also like there's a bit to like competitive spirit and like
yeah,
getting an edge
yeah.
over everybody and like trying to bring down your opponent. So I've long since let that go, but there is that sentiment of like here in very intimate Native American communities of like Mexicans are different, Native Americans are different, and not there's not a lot of I don't know. There's some of that there is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
I can understand like where like
where it comes
disparity
from,
comes from
you
for
know?
sure. Like they're accessing resources that are supposed to be reserved for us or what we believe is supposed to be reserved for us. And I don't know. I don't have any answers, bro. I
Yeah,
don't.
that and I'm very ignorant on a lot of these subjects because it's only been recently that I started digging into some of this. And then you start looking at, into, missing and murdered Indigenous women.
Hmm.
And I read somewhere, maybe I don't know how long ago, but not too long ago, and I don't know if the numbers are correct, but it's about 5,000, over 5,000 in Washington, I think, a year missing or murdered, or in this area. I don't know. It's the second highest in the country,
Hmm.
but it's if you look at just like the Seattle area,
Hmm.
it's the number one
What do you mean
in
as
the
far as like the
country.
demographic or
Just they per capita, I'm guessing,
oh,
like the
okay.
way they measure their numbers.
Yeah.
So I think Arizona or somewhere down there is number one,
Oh,
and then
makes sense. I
states.
lived in Arizona for a
Okay,
while. It makes
so the
sense.
state of Arizona ranked one, and I'll double check this and I'll put
As
it up
far
there
as
if it's
like
not.
native or missing and murdered indigenous
Yeah,
women? Okay.
number one, and then Washington too. But if you look at all the large cities, Seattle is number one. And the data was collected mostly from larger cities, which doesn't make sense because or it does make sense, but it's just you think when you think Native American, the ignorant mind thinks, oh, okay, like reservations. But the reality is that, natives are across the entire land that they've always been on, right? I don't know. It's just all of this to me is just like when I receive some sort of knowledge, I feel like I can't just sit back and be okay with it without saying something or doing something or I don't know, bringing awareness. I think that's, you know,
That's what led me to run. I just, I think I've told this story before, like just on a stupid Facebook story. But I was at a gas station in Arizona, and like I keep saying, I'm half Native American. And Phoenix has a population of, I would guess, somewhere around like 10% of Native Americans. But if somebody's homeless, this is just anecdotal, right? Just what the eyeball tells me. If somebody's homeless, like half of the time they're Native American. And I phrased this wrong when I said it on my Facebook post. I was like, "What are they doing to us? What are they doing?" To us? Like, yeah, partly it's like there's an outsourced like oppression that weighed down on us. But ultimately, like, what can I do? We're at a point now that like, yeah, we came from dire circumstances, and this is my message more than anything else. I don't care where you come from. Like hold strong, because I grew up in I don't I don't know. How do you measure oppression? It was pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Like no power, no food. It wasn't always like that. I had a dad that worked really, really hard, so I had a back door to go to. But I recognized like what it was like growing up like that, rats and roaches in the house, and just like drug addiction, and what that leads to, the type of stuff that leads to, and just the outright trauma that it leads to. Man, stuff happened to us, me, my siblings, and I can't blame a person for giving up. I can't blame a person for just being homeless. I can understand like why they led their life that way. But like, what can I do about it? I was like, I don't know, bro. I'm just some guy. Like, I do go for runs a lot, and I can tell you why I started going for runs. Why I started working out really, really like insanely. I think a lot of people look at what I do and think that it's impossible. I don't mean to have a big ego about it, but like I do run horribly, horribly. I
so
don't recommend it.
did you start running like in school as an out like a
Nope.
no?
No, I just played basketball growing up. I didn't do anything other than basketball. I wish, like, just real quick comment. I wish I would have done like wrestling. Those guys seem like more of athletes, and then like track. I wish I
Mm.
would have done those instead of just playing basketball. But I grew up same era as you. Like, oh, basketball is so cool. Did you grow up here?
I was born in Prosser, lived in Sunnyside until I was probably all over the place, but in Sunnyside until I was 12, moved to Reno,
Oh,
Nevada,
gotcha.
and then moved back when I was 18.
Oh,
So
gotcha. I was gonna say like Grandview, we didn't like you guys because you guys were good at basketball.
yeah.
We were in the same conference, and like you guys won state champs. So it was like a whole like cultural phenomenon at the time to just play basketball, and that's all that I knew.
Mm.
So it could have been archery, it could have been I don't know track, it could have been chess, but just where I grew up, it was basketball. So
Is basketball really popular in Native communities? Because so
yeah,
I'll tell you this much. So like
yeah,
our kids, they'll go out and they play in different teams and stuff. So we'll go up to Yakima, Tri Cities, whatever.
hmm
3-on-3s, they just started doing that. Whenever it's funny, whenever we see like a team come in
hmm
and they're natives, we're like, oh fuck, well we lost.
for real.
Yeah,
That's
that's
funny.
our feel. Well, at least I'm
There's
speaking for
different
myself.
That's funny. There's different tribes too, and, oh, I hope some natives see this. When Lapway pulls up, we're like, "Fuck," like, "Oh, god damn, they're gonna smash us," but I hope that they see, like, Yakima the same way too, because like, Marjan Beauchamp,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
from Yakima,
yeah.
so, there's a few guys that are from Yakima where they're legends too. Pendleton's pretty damn good, Umatilla, they have some, like, underground legends. Anyways, continue.
I think it's I think it's great whenever we do 3-on-3s here anywhere in the valley and whenever I've been there like that there's quality in the game they're playing.
I have an
Um
idea as to why.
and that's where I was going to lead into like what is that? And I mean you relate to it because you
I don't know. I wanna say, like, flat out, I'm not the arbiter of, like, all the information from Native Americans. I don't know, I'm just some guy, right?
just your
But,
lived
like
experience.
yes, yes. So, like, do you know everything about men and being a man? Like, no, you know what I mean? Here's my best guess. Here's what, I've recognized over the years of playing basketball, and there's pictures of me playing basketball. I loved basketball. So here's my best guess. Before the settlers came over, um There were no horses. Apparently, horses are not indigenous to the North American continent. I don't know. So, how did you get a message from one tribe to the other, next band to the other? You had to run. So, your
Mhm.
cardiovascular had to be incredible. So, when the settlers came over and brought their missionaries and taught them the game of basketball, these people that had good cardiovascular and were in, decent shape took to a game that, you know, involved a lot of cardiovascular.
Mhm.
And they didn't bring soccer over. They didn't bring football over. Those were soccer was invented a long time ago, but football was invented years and years and
Yeah.
years later. But basketball was pretty early on, and they took to it. I think that's what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then like the cultural phenomenon that was the '80s, Michael Jordan,
Mhm.
a counterculture of like being black and not the stereotypical like light-skinned American, and like Native Americans didn't have a standard on TV media presence. So like,
That was the closest thing
yeah,
to they could
yeah,
yeah,
and
see,
I
I
would
never even
imagine like
thought
the
of
same
that,
for
yeah.
Mexicans or like blacks, or they identified with that. Like, yeah, we're winning. We're not one of you, but we're still winning. So they kind of tagged along with that, and it was more than just in Native American communities when we were growing up. There was a lot of identifying with like just hip hop culture too,
Mhm.
hip hop culture, and then like counterculture as far as like metal music. A lot of natives love metal music. A lot of natives love,
Really?
yeah, like hard rock. Yeah. Just because, like, fuck the system. Right.
Yeah, 'cause
So
yeah.
I think, I don't know. That's my best estimation.
I mean, it makes sense,
Yeah. I don't
you
know.
know?
I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I think you
that's,
do. It's just yeah, that yeah, I feel that, anything in culture when it comes to, like, the arts and music and, sports, I think it's a lot easier for us to look up at Michael Jordan, because he's closer to us,
he was
Yeah,
oppressed too. He went through struggle too. His family came from nothing too. I think he came up in like upper middle class, but the idea is
it's
there.
flow
The
it
sentiment
yeah.
is there. Yeah.
So what is life like in Wapato? Like, what was when did how old you when you lived in Spokane or
Well, so I grew up in Wapato, spent most of my years there. I was in college and I met this girl and went down to Arizona to be with her. And it worked out for 10 years until it didn't. Had two kids, and then that fell apart as a surprise to me. Thought everything was good, and then came home. Everything wasn't good. And then that's part of the reason why I started running, because I don't know if you've ever experienced that. I hope that you never have
Yeah,
or
I
never will.
have.
You have? Okay, yeah. So like I couldn't sleep at night at all. I couldn't, and so like I was at that time I was like in shape. I was lifting. I was running. I had ran from like in Phoenix, there's one. It's in Phoenix. It's a grid, and there's a freeway that goes around the city, and
Mhm,
then there's a freeway that cuts through the city. So like between two freeways is like 8 miles. And I
mhm.
was like, I'm gonna run from one side of the freeway to the next, and it was 8 miles. And I was like, oh, I did it, and it was like 110 degrees outside, and that sucked. That hurt. Like that hit me more than like a lot of these runs that I go on now. But life fell apart. I couldn't sleep. I wasn't eating, and I knew that that was gonna like fade after a while, like the eating thing. But I just couldn't. I couldn't work out enough, and I went for like a 6 mile one run time, and I thought that that would do something to me before work.
Mm.
And I was like, damn, uh, mind is still racing. I was trying to heal the spirit through like a physical, and it wasn't. It was not working. The mental through a physical. I was just hoping to like make myself dog tired, and it didn't work. I would still have to.
What were your like, when you run
Are you a fan of David Goggins? Do you know of him?
No, no.
Okay. I bet you've heard of "Stay Hard," Black Eye,
Okay, yes, yes, yes,
Bald.
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
you're
yes.
just a bitch. He
Yeah.
talks a lot. Kind of.
Was that the mentality while you were running when you started running? Or, like, at what point did you because I'm pretty sure, and I'm speaking for you, but I would feel like running the way you run is kinda therapeutic.
No,
No?
maybe. Yeah.
But it can also,
After the
like
end of it, yeah, I think.
it can also like during the run, you're going through what are you thinking? Like, are you hitting, or do things trigger,
Yeah.
trauma? You're going through all of that,
Yeah.
and it's just a way of you processing that. And it's probably easy. And I'm not gonna say it's easy because obviously dealing with trauma is not easy, but I would think that if I were running and I get triggered, and I'm working through that while I'm running, would be safer for me to do than sitting at my desk and going through that, you know?
Yeah. So people ask, I've giving speeches at like schools, and it's mostly women that show up and they're like, "Can I run with you? How do you do it?" And did you grow up playing any sports?
No.
No, grew up playing basketball. I was okay. I was all right. And I had an older brother that picked on me all the time. He was older. He was a model at like a local
Mm,
photography studio. He played on like the local all-star basketball team. I didn't like this guy, but obviously I loved him, and I'm joking and it's satire. But like
yeah.
he was a standard to look up to, and he was 3 years older than me. I was bigger as a kid, so I like played with him all the
Mm,
time, and him and his friends would always pick on me. And then once puberty hit, boom, like it was
yeah.
over
Yeah.
because the skill matched the body. So hyper competitive to this day. Like, I was playing video games with my nephew like 2 days ago, and he messed up. We were playing like on the same team, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, it's a
Yeah.
first person shooter. We're playing. I don't play video games that much. I promise you. I was just watching my nephew. Um, but the same thing happened when I was a kid. I'd play video games and I'd scream and I'd cry and I'd throw the controllers, and I broke so many controllers because the game's cheating. The game's cheating.
Yeah.
It probably was, knowing how games work now. But um, my nephew he messed up. He killed us, and I was like, "Oh, thanks for killing us." Boom,
Yeah.
threw the
Yeah.
controller. I was like, "Oh my god,
Like,
do not relay this psychopathy onto your nephew."
yes,
But maybe a little bit.
a
Maybe
little
maybe you
bit.
want that competitive spirit. So later, like we cooled down. We went to go swim later, and I was like, "Hey, I'm sorry for doing that. I don't care about video games. I love you. Sorry for doing that."
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, while running, it was my sister's birthday yesterday, like a week ago, and so I was hanging out with them. That's why I was with my nephew. She came back recently. Blah 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 blah. I'll get into the story. And I was busy all day yesterday, and so I had to. I make time for a run. It doesn't matter if I need to wake up at 6. It doesn't matter if I run at 9 at night. Um, and but like sometimes I'll go for runs, and I'll think of everything. I'll think of like the way that I grew up, the way that maybe other societies or social institutions or other people's persons might look at us, might look at Wapato, might think of us, might think of Native Americans, and it's just like I've been to the other side. I've had friends that were. I think you read my story about like my friend out in Issaquah. She was a girl. She was their family were millionaires, and I've made friends. I had a business. Made friends with a guy that was worth $80 million, and they're people like us. And I swear to God, like when I'm on these runs, I need to become a coach because I need to tell kids this like, it doesn't fucking matter where you come from. Fucking smash them with that move that you have. And I'm thinking this while I'm running, like all of the things that I went through. And I'm thinking like, oh, I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of tired. Now fuck that. Go harder.
Mhm.
Fuck that. Go harder. And I do think like it might be unhealthy because at times when I would do like the long runs, like the longest run I did was from Yakima to Lapway or the Nez Perce Reservation. I want to say that's like 185 miles. I skip over parts that are dangerous. So, like, let's say 150.
Yeah.
I get tired just like anybody else. Not at like 10 miles or 12 miles, but like 30, 40 miles. Like, I'm dead tired. And the most I ever did, I want to say, is like 60 miles in a day, a single day. Um, but at that 20, 30 mile mark, um,
That's when you start.
I don't mean to like I'll get deeper if you want me to go deeper. I went to school for psychology for a little while. There's two reward systems, incentive and consumatory. Consumatory is I'm hungry, I go eat, I'm satiated, done. Incentive is like I need my daughter to live in a better place than I live. I will do whatever the fuck I have to do.
Hmm.
And we will see this come to fruition with athletes. Like when Kobe Bryant broke his Achilles in the middle of a game, he stood up, walked to the fucking like that's physically, metaphysically impossible, but
Yeah.
he did it. Maybe it was like a slight tear because, physically it's
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah.
But anyways, he did it. And we see athletes do this all the time. They break a finger, break an arm. That's because the incentive reward system is in your hypothalamus, which regulates the core temperature of your body, which, to the best of our understanding with psychology, means that those systems, those reward systems, are as ancient as keeping our body warm.
Mm.
So I tap into that. I think like keep fucking running. If I run well enough, like my daughter's gonna see it, my son's gonna see it. Break the fucking leg off. I don't care.
Hmm.
It's screaming in pain. I don't give a shit. Go somewhere else in your head.
Hmm.
And so like people ask if they want to run with me, if they can run with me. I'm like, you can. I swear to God you can. But like when the wave comes, don't bitch up. It's gonna hit you. Keep going.
You mentioned that you think about what others think of your hometown. Are you like In what way?
So while I was doing a speech, one of the first speeches I did at YBC, a woman was from Wapato, and she's like, "I came from Wapato, and I heard that, or I've read something that Wapato is one of the least medium income per households in the state, like top bottom five or something like that." I read the same thing too, and my response to her, bro, I was on some shit. I
That
said, I come from that community and I see like people striving to do incredible things. People wanted to do something incredible with their life. And I've seen some pretty horrible things. I've seen, I've already kind of mentioned them. Those things didn't break me. Even if you saw those things, even if you came through those things, I hope they don't break you either. Those things made me stronger. And I hope that those things make you stronger as well. So I leave you with that. It's not hard to pick on Wapato. It's not hard. There's a lot of like homelessness, there's a lot of drug use, there's a lot of broken people, there's a lot of like I would imagine the property value is probably lowest one of the lowest in the state. Um, but I love it. I love that town. I love
at
like
home, you know?
not just that, like I love like I'll go to like Arizona, wherever I'm at, and like humble beginnings, people coming from nothing. I'm like, fuck, you got it, bro. You got this if you want. It's not about having the big house, but I guarantee you, if you go over and like you talk to the guy over on the west side from Bellevue, Redmond, wherever, and you see what their temperament is like, you see what their mental is like. They're 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 a little bit comfortable.
Mhm.
And if you just, I'm here talking to you because I just started running. Every day I ran, every single fucking day I ran. And I did the same in business. I sold clothes. I had a clothing shop in the Wenatchee Mall. You just get up every single day and you move this much over here. And
Mhm.
then the effect of compound interest, just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And then you start running, you start running, you start running. You're like, holy shit. I want to run from one side of the reservation to the next. That's 32 miles. You're crazy. It's 100 degrees outside. I don't give a
Mhm.
fuck. I don't care. Done.
So at what age do you think we start paying attention to our surroundings as children?
I
And
think immediately.
you know what I mean? Because if you grow up in a community and that's all you know,
Mhm.
I'm just thinking like at what age are we starting to identify that my community is not as privileged or doesn't have access to certain things as other communities? You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, well, I guess this is the hand I was dealt and this is it for me.
We didn't grow up with much. My dad worked very hard. I would say we were never without, but we were when we were under my mom's supervision. And that's no slight to my mom. For myself, the best I can give you is like what I understand for myself. I think immediately, but I remember going to Seattle and then coming back home to Wapato and being like, "Oh yes, Wapato, it's the greatest place on earth." I remember like vocally saying that to my mom, and she was like laughing. And then I remember like because mom, I won't get into that discussion, but and then like I remember going to Seattle and like walking around downtown and like seeing other families, and then looking at my family, and then like looking at what we're wearing, and like, oh shit, like
Mm.
we're kind of trash. And trying to map cause and effect what led to that over the years. And I'm still trying to do that, right? I'm still trying to like, God, bro, like my dad had such a legendary work ethic. When I'm on these runs, I think of that too.
Are you okay with talking about your dad or
Yeah, I'm good.
so is your dad in the picture or
Yeah, my dad's a stud, bro. Like I owe my dad so much. We fight so much.
that's the way it
Yeah.
is, man.
But I love that. I will curse him out today and be like, bro, I love you so
There's
much.
no yeah, there's that. So you say he had a work ethic? What happened?
Just ran himself into the ground, I think. Like all he does now is just chill and play pool. And he's earned that. Like it's my duty now to like make sure he's on a beach somewhere.
Yeah,
Like I have to
yeah.
do that for him, bro. I don't know if you read that post, but I can explain to like the viewers too. He would wake up like at 3:30, 4 o'clock. Let's say four. He'd wake up at 4 o'clock and deliver the town's newspaper. So you'd have to go grab it,
Mhm,
pack it, whatever,
mhm,
and then deliver it. And then by the time he was done with that, it was time for him to like drive the school bus. He would come home, wake us up when he had us, make us a quick breakfast, oatmeal and toast all the time, and either take us to school or just like get us ready. And then he would go do his job. He would do his job. He would do that. He would drive the kids to from like the local high school to the college for like the college prep classes, come back, bring those kids back to high school. By the time that was out, it was time to take the kids home. After that, he'd hop in an ice cream truck and then sell ice cream until sundown. So 9:30, 10 o'clock. bro, for like how many years? Like I just seen him do this my whole life. I'm like, then I started getting a job and I was like, oh, that's normal. That's what you do. You know, as a dad, that's what you do. And then I got a job and I'd come home after 40 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I was like, oh shit. Like later, like years and years later, after like doing that for years, I was like, oh, I'm a bitch. Like my dad was on some shit.
Like
Like he was
like he probably would wish to have a 40-hour, work week.
he didn't I don't know what it was, man. He was the nicest guy. He was so nice. I might have heard him curse every once in a while, but like never seen him like argue with anybody or that's not true either. But I never seen him like be abrasive just for that's not true either. But
What was
um
his upbringing like? Do you guys talk about that or
I try so when I broke up and came back home, I wanted to understand as much as I could about my mom and my dad. I knew it, I basically knew my mom's whole story. My dad's been more reclusive. He's been more secretive with what he's gone through. Bits and pieces are there. He got sent to work when he was 7.
mm,
He got sent to the fields and he grew up in a big family. He's the Mexican side, right? The Mexican American side.
here in the valley or
Yeah, in Wapato. And he had a bunch of siblings. So he had 5 siblings. He was like the middle child. He was smaller. He had he had some sort of disease in his stomach, so his half of his stomach was removed. So physically, he wasn't so developed. And his dad was an old school guy. I'm guessing like hard laborer back in the day, just a hard laborer, like as
mm,
you might imagine, Mexican American, and was a fan of boxing. So he would come home and have his kids box, and my dad, being the smaller guy, would get the shit beat out of him all the time. That's part of it too. So, I've never like went out and said this, but um, like now amongst my like cousins, like you don't fucking pick on my dad.
you don't, yeah.
Yeah.
I can fuck with him all day long,
Hmm.
but no one,
Hmm.
yep,
Like I'm the big dog now.
yeah,
You don't
yeah.
fucking like this motherfucker and his work ethic taught me to be this, and like you leave him alone. So
Do you think his working is like your running kind of thing?
for sure, and I think like my siblings are both like that. Like we're all animals. We're all dogs. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
We got it from my dad for sure.
And he lives in Wapato. What
Yeah.
about your mom?
She lives in Yakima. She was out of my life for a good portion of my life, for a large portion of my life. She's Native American. She fell victim to drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and she was homeless for 10, 12, 15 years. And that was a different growth story for me because yeah, you go through hating her and like, why aren't you here? And blah, 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 blah. I needed you, I needed you. I'm at the point in my life now where it's just like, what can I do? I forgive her.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like she was fighting demons I have no idea about. I don't, she didn't get the tools she needed to like combat them, and now it's all good.
Yeah, you go through my three oldest are adopted and when I remember I had an office in Sunnyside and I had a lady that was a therapist next to me and um we are kind of close and when I mentioned this, she said, "Hey," and she know their backstory where they were coming from, the kind of life that they were living. She said, I am gonna give you a few words of advice. Be honest with them. Don't lie to them. You know, the youngest one was 7 days old when we took him in. Make sure he knows that he comes from another family. You are his family now, but always make sure to tell them that their parents love them. Um, but unfortunately, they made some choices, right? And that never made sense to me just because, I mean, I feel like if I were in their shoes, you loved, the drugs or this life or that life more than you did me.
Hmm.
You chose that over me. But the more you learn about a person, the more you understand. I mean, I'm not making an excuse for certain behaviors, but you understand how easy it is for someone to fall into that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I kept the same cell phone number for I don't know so many years because I want both parents to contact me if they ever need to, and it's they maybe I could count with both my hands the times they've reached out. The times that kids have had cell phones, I've always shared the numbers with them. Like, hey, this kid has a cell phone now. He's driving, whatever. Reach out to him. Just
Yeah.
let him know you're thinking of him or something because I think it's healthy for any kid to at least know that they care enough to reach out, and they're not missing anything. I don't know.
I do consider myself like everything that I've told you that I've gone through. I do consider myself really lucky at the same time because we had an extended family that was like upper middle class. Like that was always an outlet that I could have gone to too. outside of that as well, like my mom, I never questioned that my mom, like, well, I did obviously, but ultimately I knew my mom loved me. She was a good mom at times. She was a really, really good mom at times. That time when we had no food, no water, no anything, not wa- we had water, no food, no power, rats and roaches in the house. I knew we didn't have money. I'm not dumb. I was like in sixth, seventh grade, and I wanted these expensive shoes for basketball. And I remember my birthday passed, and like she brought me home from practice, and I was wearing like the same shoes I wear for like school for basketball practice. And then like a couple of weeks later after my birthday, she's like, "Hey, I know it's not your birthday, but like it's still your birth month. Like here are these shoes." And we didn't have food, bro. We didn't have food. We didn't always have food. And like, fuck, like what did my mom have to like? Clearly she cared. Clearly she loved me. Clearly like
Yeah,
she was trying as hard as she could. And it's tough, man. You know, what do I do? So I know my mom was like a good mom. I had a decent mom while she was around. So like,
she was trying the best she could with what
mm-hmm,
she had, man, and I'm
mm-hmm,
sure she's probably working on getting you those shoes before your birthday, and your
mm-hmm.
birthday came
And like fucking a
and
bill came
went,
up or a fucking tire
and
blew out.
yes,
Like
man.
shit. So like I see it now as an adult, as a full grown adult. Fuck yeah, I see it.
It's like, yeah, bro, and I don't think we give ourselves enough credit, too. Um, but dude, that's a whole story there. Just that little. I mean, our lives are littered with short messages like that can become an entire movie. You know what I mean?
That's like
Um,
25 years ago, and I still remember it like yesterday. I can remember the smell of the car when I opened the shoes. I remember that, like which shoes they were, what they looked like
yeah,
exactly.
2 weeks after your birthday.
Yeah,
And imagine those 2 weeks, your mom too, just thinking about it, like, fuck, it's, it's birthday today, and I
yeah,
was so close. And then the next day, you got 2 weeks, and then she's like, fuck, I did this shit, and then
yeah,
you have no food,
yeah,
and it's a choice, you know. I can't even imagine, and then how do you numb that pain when you have no support systems, when you don't have, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, and it's
Such an easy
just,
choice to go to. I get it.
are you close to your mom now, or?
Yeah, we're cool. Yeah, we're cool. Same. Like we're cool. We're mostly cool.
Yeah.
I'm an asshole, bro. If I'm being honest,
Yeah. And
like
and I mean, and
I'm.
that's healthy, bro. I think it's very healthy because um I think we forget that our parents are not just that. We like to, this is my dad, this is my mom. But they're more than just that title. They're humans too. They have
Hmm.
their stories. And I think the second we learn to peel that title of parent, you
Hmm.
know,
It was
off,
their first time
it's,
going
you know
through
what I
it,
mean? It's
dumb and
just like,
confused, just like anybody
of
else.
it,
Yeah.
man. And then they see us doing things. My mom passed away when I was 12, but that's a whole nother story. But even my dad, for him to experience things, and I'm sure your parents with you, they're living through us, and I
Hmm.
think they have to be proud, even though they weren't able to offer the things that, we're able to offer our kids now. But it's just I've always given. My dad has made some wild decisions and has dragged us through so much shit in our lives. But I would never tell him to his face or make him feel bad about it, just
Yeah.
because I always knew that I would have kids one day, and that was going to be my opportunity to try and do things differently. But he's another one that, came up from Mexico when he was 12 or 13, no family, lived under, bridges, and was homeless for a while he was working, I think strawberries or something in California, until he had enough to get a little place or whatever.
Our parents were struggling and were dumb and young and had no idea and were blind to the world just
Mhm.
like we are now, and like we're doing the best that they could.
And we're upset because they weren't able to get us the shoes,
Yeah.
not knowing that they're fucking.
Maybe there was times where like my mom didn't give me shoes, but like I don't remember that. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Like I remember the time she pulled through.
That's a core memory. I remember, speaking of shoes, when my mom passed away, my dad started dating one of my mom's cousins. So it was just wild
Yeah.
family drama. So he ended up saying, "Hey, let's move to Reno." Went to Reno, no money, lived in a small, I don't even think it was a two-bedroom. I'm pretty sure it was a one-bedroom apartment. All of us. My dad had four kids, but my oldest brother stayed here. Just he was going through his own stuff. And she had two boys. We had no money, no access to anything, really. Um, we lived with one of my dad's. distant cousin or something. I don't know which, and it was just a big fucking shit show over there. But I remember going back to the shoes. We didn't have new clothes. We didn't have, we're outgrowing the shit we had. Waiting at the bus stop in this big city coming from Sunnyside. I'm in a big, in Reno.
Yeah.
Uh, it's bigger.
Yeah.
Didn't know anyone, no support system, no family, no nothing. Remember standing there and kids making fun of my shoes. And my shoes were so tight, and all I wanted was shoes for school. I didn't give a fuck like what kind of shoes. I just wanted shoes because they were just so tight I could feel like my heartbeat in the shoe.
Damn.
And they're like that's one issue, but then you have kids like pointing or talking, and it's fucked up, bro. Where it's like the word sonder. Have you ever?
Sonder?
Yeah.
No.
No,
No.
it's the it's not exactly this is not the exact definition, but it's a realization that every person we come across is living in their own world with, their issues and lives as complex as ours, So we're kids, I guess we're not fully developed and we really don't see things the way we should. And sometimes we grow up in environments where that's what we do. They see parents making fun of other kids or talking down on certain things. So those are, you learn to be a certain way. It's just like I could have just been done with life when I was 12 years old. My mom had just died and we're going through all of this. And she was a hard worker. She provided for us. She wasn't the best mom. She was really hard on me because I was a dark skinned one and the other three were light skinned colored eyes. My mom was light skinned colored eyes but I was the dark one and
Yeah.
in our culture for some reason um this is not nice. And I'm like, I talked to my son and my son is darker than me. I'm like, dude, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I didn't grow up with that love with any of that. I had one birthday cake that I could remember in my 12 years.
Damn.
My older brother would have birthdays, but the birthday cake I had that one year, I think the only reason I got that was my mom's brother bought me the cake.
Damn.
And to me, that was like the biggest deal, man. I remember like Valentine's, everyone takes, little Valentine cards to school, whatever. I remember my siblings getting those boxes with, whatever. And I remember I'm taking like a notebook apart and making my own Valentine's cards because I didn't get one to take to school.
Damn. Yeah.
And it's stupid. It's like,
No, it's not, man.
but those are like when you're a kid, you're that shit. Those are traumas, bro.
We were like, I'm really guilt ridden a lot too, because I think like even the way that I grew up, I knew that I was spoiled. I knew that I was a fat, rich, spoiled kid in a lot of circumstances, even like with whatever we were going through with the power off. I keep mentioning, but like I realized like the gifts that were bestowed upon us. Like we every year we would go to school with like new clothes. My dad held it down every year. Like if I wanted shoes, he could get us shoes. Um, like I'm so grateful that I had a dad like that. I'm so can never repay him. Can never repay him. Um, yeah. I
Are your and I just want to touch on this.
Go
So
ahead.
you said you have two kids
In Arizona,
in Arizona. How
mm,
how often do you see them?
not often at all. I don't know, man. I don't know what happened.
The
I
reason I
tried.
ask is because you talk about how your dad was. Have you seen him as a grandfather with nieces nephews?
Huh? Yeah. Not the
Ha-
best. Not the best.
No,
Not the best. No, he's done, bro. What he
he's
did was, I respect him for like his work ethic
yeah,
more so than anything else. Like his philosophical approach, his ideologies, as far as like a lot of stuff, I don't agree with. But yeah, I just respect him for his work ethic. And I try to apply that to everything in my life. Like, how do I become a better father, better father, better father, better father? And yeah, so I don't know what your question was,
and
but
that was no, just like how you see him, as a grandfather. My father.
he's not the best. He's
Um,
he's kind of trash, actually. He's kind of not good.
hey, dude,
Yeah.
like my dad lives down the road that way, and um,
He'll like bicker with my nephew, and I'm like, bro, he's 10. Leave him alone. What are you doing? Like, he's not your equal. You're there to guide
well,
him.
at
You're
least
there.
at least he bickers with them.
Yeah.
My dad will drive by the house and my kids are out there playing
Hmm.
on the trampoline or something because he works out in the country. We're out there um and he won't even honk sometimes
Really?
or like wave and the kids are like, "Hey, grandpa." They're so like happy to see him whenever he's around. But he's just like in his own world, obviously good work ethic, but
Yeah.
still put us to shit and a very well, at least for my dad, he's a very selfish person.
Yeah.
And I think so a lot of those traits, the things I don't like about him, I catch myself doing the same thing. Maybe I'll speak to one of my kids the way he spoke to me, and I have to snap out and be like, "What the fuck are you doing, guy?
Hmm.
Like, this is not cool." You said you see your kids not enough, and you say you don't any of the stuff we talk about today, bro. You could say, "Hey, I don't want that shit on there." Like
I'm
I
open,
can
bro. I don't care.
you don't know what happened.
I know what happened, but I'm just saying I don't know why. I don't get it. It broke my faith. I don't know why. People like try to like, oh, it's cool. You can still be a good dad. You can still be, yeah, bro. That's if they're across town. That's if they're on the west side. That's if they're in Oregon. Like they're 1,400 miles away. I can send them things. I could send money. I could call them every day. Why? My whole life, I just wanted to be like, I saw what it was like to come from a broken home. I never wanted that.
And your dream was to
Have a nice home. Have be with one person and like I wanted a family. I loved my person. I loved my kids. I loved being a family. I loved being a dad. I don't know what the fuck happened. Grew up in a broken home, put a lot of emphasis on like my mom was like my parent. My dad was like my brother's parent. When they would fight and split up, I didn't bring this up at all. When they'd fight and split up, my mom would take me. My brother would go with my dad. And I remember being like really little and thinking like, where's my brother? I miss my brother. And my sister, when she was born, she would come with me and my mom. So my mom was like close to me. And you could imagine what that did when she left the picture. And it hurt my sister a lot more too. My sister's doing really well now, but um so I grew up kind of a mama's boy when I was younger until about 13 when she left. Well, I left and then she left. I left her home, went to my dad's, and then she went off and then went homeless. Um, I was a mama's boy, and I remember thinking like, when I get a partner that I'm going to have a family with, and I waited till I was a little bit older, like 28, to have kids. And when I get a partner, I'm going to try to do my best to do it right and treat her right,
mm-hmm.
and try to. I'll admit when I'm wrong. I'll be a hard worker. I'll do as well as I can. I don't want to like discourage anybody, or if you're close to me, I will. I don't want to discourage anybody or make it like any more heart wrenching or scary than it needs to be. But like you're only 50% of the equation. That's what I came up with. Like it doesn't matter what you do. It does. Yeah, like you can control fifty
Yeah.
percent of it, but like what's the other person gonna do? I don't know. So
Yeah, one someone said this years ago when I was with my ex-wife, and they said a relationship is not 50-50. A relationship is 100%, 100%.
oh shit, there we go. Yeah.
Both partners need to be at 100% because if we think, I'm doing my part, so now they got to do their part, you're both only doing 50-50. In your case, from what you're telling me, you were doing 100%.
I think she was doing she I don't know. She had things I could probably break it down what happened. I've lost my audience with her. She won't. She might even listen to me, but then just okay, I'm not going to work on it. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, and at some point, like I think with anyone, I think I've gotten to a point in my life where I feel that I have to share my struggles, my story, whatever, and help as much as I can. But there's only so much that's all I can do.
Hmm.
I'm more focused on me and what I'm trying to do. And I tell my kids, it's not being selfish. I think it's being self-centered. If I'm not good, I won't be able to be good for you. So I won't tell someone how to live their life. I may say, hey, if I were you, this is what I would do, or this is how I would approach it. But I also learned a lot from my first marriage. And it's not until I feel until you're removed of a relationship or a situation where you're able to like clearly see things where I may have failed. Or, for instance, for me, when I stepped out of, well, I didn't step out, like she decided to leave. And that's another one. That was a hard and sensitive subject. And I'll put a disclaimer on this, but right after she left, I kept the three kids, and had just started a new job. We moved towns from Sunnyside to Prosser, and I was involved in a million things. And it was right before school started, so I was all the things she was in charge of were when it came to like school, doctor's appointments, you name it. That was now me, which is fine. But I have a lot of family here. My siblings live here, aunts, uncles, all over the valley. But I felt so alone, man, like surrounded by, and people were checking in, like the right people checked in. I felt so alone, and there were a couple times where I felt like I was just driving and during my lunch to do this or that so that I can make it back on time. And there were, I think, two times that I wanted to just fucking fly off the bridge. I just felt so disconnected, and I felt very close to being completely dead inside to where it didn't really matter, and a lot of people um, may judge individuals that die by suicide. Um, but I think in most cases, man, and it is very unpopular opinion, I'm guessing, but I think in most cases you're already dead
when you
when you
decided to
when
do
you
that.
decide to do that. You get to a point. I mean, yeah, there can be, maybe my life would be better if, or whatever. But I think that there's a point in someone's life where you're already dead, so you're not thinking about anyone else.
Yeah,
You just got so much going on, so much not going on. I don't know. I'm just speaking for myself and my experience. I was close to feeling like,
I don't know if you're like leading to something or trying to like pull something out of me, but I attempted like twice.
no, I was just saying, I'm trying to, like, I'm just trying to relate
I got you.
with the relationships and where we're at, and I wish I would have had some sort of outlet because it was a very, and I mean, I guess you're still always healing from things, but, and I'm sorry, I cut you off,
No, you're good.
but I just needed to, like, I look back and I know that where I was trying to get with that is, looking back, I know that I generally wasn't happy in that relationship. I felt that, I wanted that perfect marriage. I wanted that nucleus, that I wanted that, and I wanted to protect it and build it and just be like the best dad, the best husband, but I wasn't. I mean, I don't think I was the best, but at the same time, I wasn't in love the way I should have been in love. I think I was more in love with the idea of marriage. I was more in love with the idea of being a dad. You know what I mean? And I think when I realized that, I told myself, hey, like if I was done with relationships, I'll probably mess around, do whatever, but I'm done. I don't think I'll ever put myself in a position where I have to,
I see the ring, so you move past
oh
that.
yeah,
But that's where I'm at right now. I think I don't even want to voice my opinion on it. I'll go down a whole rabbit hole with this now. It's
with like relationships or
the idea of marriage and like
yeah.
monogamy in today's society. Yeah, I won't get into it.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. I think it
I think the world is upside down right now. Like, God save us, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. I still don't get it. I still question every day. Like I was a good dad. I was a really, really good dad. I loved being a dad. Really, 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 really good dad. Trying to think, like, don't give myself too much credit. I'm always hypercritical, Dunning-Kruger effect. You're always
mm,
less knowledgeable than you think you are. And I'm always questioning myself. My son was a stud, man. My son was a stud, and I tried to do everything that I wanted as a kid and like play with them and like discipline them. And I would apologize to him all the time. Like if I fucked up, like, hey, dad messed up today. This is the reason why. I won't do that anymore. Dad's gonna work on that. The same intervals my daughter was at. My son is 8, my daughter is 4. The same intervals at the 8. I was a preschool teacher for like 6 years. The same intervals my daughter was at was showing more promise than my son was. And now, like I went to go see my kids like a month ago. Why? Why are you doing this to me? Like I said, it's shaking my faith. Like why? Why would you do this to me?
you have no communication with your ex-wife?
I do.
Just is it like cordial? Is it, and you don't have to like any of this stuff, bro. I'm
I'll
just
be dead
like,
ass honest with you. Like I hate her.
yeah.
I hate her for what she did to our family. I hate her for what she's doing to my kids. My daughter is dumber than she needs to be. I don't say that with any joy or malice or it's just what it is. It's emotionless and cold. It's like she doesn't need to be like this. She didn't need to be like this. She's fine. She's well kept. She has a head over a roof over her head. She gets all the food she my
Just not the attention that she deserves.
and yeah. I'll be cordial. I won't say
Yeah,
you
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
bitch. I would
Yeah,
never
yeah,
do that. I was
yeah.
just like, thank you for the video.
You like delete, delete, delete.
No, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
thank
I've
you.
done that. Yeah, for sure. Uh, thank you for the video. Thank you for the information. Done.
I'm glad she does that. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be.
Yeah, yeah, she could be more morbid than that. She can be more horrible than she is.
What about your boy? Like,
My boy,
yeah.
he's still doing okay. He's not terrible. He's pretty good because I set the foundation for him. I don't know if he's like still top in his class, but when I was there, he goes to a charter school and in the city. So like this is funny. Let's get a little real. There are Asian kids there, and I won't and respect to everybody. I love everybody. I don't think that I have any like harsh biases towards anybody. I don't mean it with any malice, but certain cultures have a proclivity to focus more on certain institutions like education. So that's the point that I'm getting to. And my son, I'd come home every day. I'd pick my son up from school. Every day I'd drop my son off at school, and I'd say, "You're going to do great today. Yeah, go. You're smart. You're strong. You're a leader. You know what to do." That's my phrase for him. It's on my shoes, one of the shoes that I ran on. You're smart. You're strong. You know what to do. Go be a leader today. And I'd let go of his hand and he'd go into to school. There's a gate, whatever. And I'd pick him up and I'd say, "How are you a leader today?" And he would say, "I don't know. I don't know what to do." And I'd say, like, "That's okay. Leaders don't always know what to do." And some days he'd be like, "Well, I helped so and so." And I was like, "Yes, hell yeah. That's what leaders do." Yeah. And some days I'd be like, "Are you the best in the class?" And I wouldn't. There's pressure there, you know.
Oh
There's
yeah, yeah,
Are you the best in the class? Is like, no,
yeah.
who is blah 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 is. And I was like, nah, no, no, I got your back.
Hmm.
I'm always gonna have your back. Like we're gonna be the best. We're gonna be the best in the class. And he would. When I was there, he would get straight A's because for whatever reason their school would have like a grading system of F to A, and he had straight A's. Now he gets like A's, B's, and C's. So not bad.
Yeah. That's got to be hard, bro. Like, I can't imagine, you know, your pride and joy, like not having such close access to them. You know what I mean?
I know what I'm going to do. I came to this conclusion too. By doing these running things and blah 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 blah, by meeting people and growing up. Let's just say by growing up. Oh, I'm such cool. I run. Blah. I don't give a fuck about that. By just growing up, I've realized like wishing somebody well and wanting to see them grow is akin to loving them. So like that's like what could you want more from a
Yeah,
person?
yeah.
They
I
want to see you grow. And they don't want anything from you.
I just learned to just shut the fuck up
Yeah.
and deal with it because it was so fucked up for the kids and they're developing minds and they paint a picture of the other parent and it's really fucked up, you know? And I took a lot of that out on the kids too, just not even thinking about it, you know, just behaving and saying things that I shouldn't have said.
I'm trying
Um,
to be so cognizant with that. Like when I go see them, nothing. Nothing at all. It's all about them.
mhm.
I try so hard to do that. I don't know. I'm sure I'm gonna fuck up eventually.
Yeah, I mean,
But
we all do. It's just when we recognize it, that's when, you know, I've apologized to my kids
yeah,
several times,
yeah,
you know, because I would ask questions, you know, whenever they'd go spend the night or over there that I shouldn't have been asking,
yeah,
you know, and this was early on, and or they would say something and I'd like roll my eyes and I'd, you know, say something snarky or sarcastic, just kind of like digging in to someone that I shouldn't be saying that to them. I should be talking to my brother about that, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, but they get it. The kids see it, you know, and I mean, I can't tell you the amount of times I felt like the biggest piece of shit dad for the life my kids were living, you know, but I mean, and I still do, bro. It's like I feel that, you know, I talk about the treehouse a lot. My youngest, oldest boy, so the youngest of the three that are adopted, he wanted a treehouse forever. And I was never in the like in the position financially to get shit to build him a treehouse. So we had to settle for other things around the house. And with my youngest boy, because I have two kids now with my wife Courtney, um, he wanted a treehouse, and I was able to say, okay, look, we're gonna go buy shit and da da da, and I start building the treehouse. And then my oldest boy, who was 14, I think, or the older boy, he's 16 now. He was probably 12, 13. He's helping me build this treehouse. And we're like halfway through the treehouse. And it just like it hit me. And I'm like, Kimiko, I'm so sorry. Why that? I'm like, because you always wanted this. And now you're building something for your younger brother, something that you deserved when you were a kid, and I wasn't able to give it to you. Like, I'm so sorry. He's like, no, Dad, it's okay. Like, no, it's not okay. He's like, Dad, it's okay. You're in a much better position now. And anyways, sweet kid. And I think we don't give ourselves enough credit because what I'm trying to say is we want to evolve as humans, you
Yeah.
know. And if I was the same, then I that's something to be upset about, you know. But I do realize that my youngest kids are getting a better version of me than my older kids did, and that fucking kills me.
Who's to say though? You know what I mean? Because my nephew is a full grown adult. He's 20 now, and seen him from the time he was an infant, before he was born even. And his dad worked really, really hard, my brother, and gave him everything. He has a nice place in Yakima, like in the nice neighborhood, and we grew up in the trap. And you realize, like, who's to say? It's the same conversation of like those kids over on the west side in Issaquah and Redmond and blah blah blah. Like they're comfortable. They're a little bit comfortable. Don't underestimate them at all. Do not underestimate them at all. They might have something. They might have access to resources, information, network that we don't have. It creates a hunger, though. We got a hunger over
It
here for
does.
sure. We got a hunger over here. We got a desire that just burns inside of me. Like it just still to this day. I'm an old man, bro, and I still burn inside. And it's like I
How
got
do we pass that on though, man?
I don't
Because
think we can. I tried so hard with my nephew. My nephew, like I was good at basketball. I was okay. I won't toot my horn too much. But I tried so hard when he was like 12, 13. Like, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. And he was shorter than me. So he had that working against him. Honestly, he did. And I would have the conversations like, what is you being short having to do with making the right play, making the right pass, effort, heart? Like, get that rebound. I don't care if he's taller than you. Box him out if he goes over the back.
mhm,
Blah, 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 blah. I tried. I don't know. I don't know. I have no
you know, because
idea. I would do something. I'm sorry to cut you off again, but I would do stuff with my son. I would teach my son how to play chess, and I would smash him sometimes, and he'd be crying, and I just nope,
but you have to,
nope,
man.
nope, checkmate. Get up, go
But you
again.
want them to
Yeah,
have that hunger and that
mhm,
drive and that because we're not always going to be there.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
That's my dude. So I've learned now to like, God, there's certain conversations to have. Maybe I haven't figured it out. Then that's what it is. It's the problem is me.
So you don't see yourself having a conversation like that with your daughter?
For sure. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. But I'm also going to tell her like there are things that your mom can teach you that I never can.
Yeah.
And I can never teach you how to be a woman. I can never teach you how to express yourself in a feminine sense. I could try. I could give you like what I see from
I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. Like we can teach our daughters how they deserve to be treated, right?
yeah,
And we can also teach them that they are not anybody's, you know, doormat.
yeah. Yeah,
You know
for
what I mean?
sure.
Like my daughter, my oldest, she's in the Navy now. Um, she's like one of the bros, bro.
Yeah.
She's one of them. Like, I would love for you to play chess with her
Mhm.
and you can talk all the shit to her because like, one thing I do is I talk shit to my kids. Like,
Yeah,
they will not, there's no shit talking out in the real world that's going to phase my
for
kids
sure.
because they've heard the worst from their dad. And not in a fucked up way, but like, I mean, I can push their buttons but I'm building them. I'm building up, I think the world eats our kids up, bro.
For sure.
And if we don't, you know, prepare them for that, then what the fuck are we doing?
It grinds down adults, full grown
Hmm.
men that have
Hmm.
built lives. It'll grind everybody down. And yeah, you got the wave is coming.
Hmm.
Don't bitch up. That's what I'm gonna
And it's always coming, man.
yeah.
And that's the thing. I think you learn to eventually learn how to navigate and ride that wave, or you just let it fucking destroy you.
Mhm.
And I've let a few waves destroy me in the past, but there's no fucking wave right now that would stand a chance, you know,
Yeah.
if I have anything
Oh,
to say
I
about it.
love I love I love feeling like that when I run too. I love feeling like that when I'm lifting. I feel like just to fucking conquer, you know?
Is it hard for you to feel that way unless you're lifting or working out?
No, like if I'm working too, if I'm not working like person, yeah, I plan to go back to being a preschool teacher. I applied and
Is that
I've
what you want to do?
no, I want to own properties. I want to own properties and own properties, own rental properties, like specifically like low income duplexes.
Think you I think you know, but I don't know if you know. Like, I feel that I can change a lot of lives, and I feel like I have through some of the work I've done. I feel like you have a lot in your head that doesn't belong in there. It belongs in other people's heads. I think you have so much to give. Um, and I hate to say this, but you're not going to be able to give it if you're a preschool teacher.
For sure. I know.
And I know you know that. Um,
I disagree actually. I disagree. You can like I've implemented some things into some kids where
well,
it's like,
yes, 100%. I
yeah,
mean, yes, I believe in the power of, anyone offering any instruction to kids. Yes. But what I mean is that the impact,
mhm.
and I would hate, I don't know, like this is gonna sound fucked up, I
Go
get,
for
but
it, bro. You
but I
cannot
mean,
offend me. Swear
I
to God.
don't want, like, yeah, you could be a preschool teacher, um, and I know everyone deserves that attention, guidance, support, but I feel like you would be wasting your gift.
I feel like that all the time, bro. I don't know what else to do. I need to. So I owned a business. I watched a guy. I met a guy in Phoenix. I went down. I had a business in the mall. COVID hit, bro. I was doing okay. I was doing like I would make a lot of money some days. I'd make $0 some days. It's just how business goes. Every day you're focused on how do I get better? How do I get better?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
$2,000 today? Great. How do I get better? $0 great. How do I get better? Doesn't matter. Emotionless, cold. Eventually, COVID shut down everything. The world fucking closed.
Mm,
I was still kind of selling clothes online, just like different ways. I see this guy in Paradise Valley, which is like, how would you say, like Bellevue? Even Scottsdale's like both. Whatever. Paradise Valley of Phoenix is like it.
yeah.
And I pull up to his house and I go, oh, shit. And he's like, hey, can I buy these shoes? I sold him the shoes. Long story short, I go back and I'm like, hey, bro, do you have a job? He had me fix some shoes. So I built some trust. He had me fix a bunch of like old school Jordans. He's from Chicago. He had shoes that came off of Jordan's feet. And I fixed them for him, put them back together. And I said, like, yeah, I got you. And I was going to steal the shoes, bro. I was going to, good thing I didn't. Maybe I should have, looking back now. Um, but I watched a business go from just me. Like I showed up into a building that was like the size of like a Walmart. And then when I left, there were 215 employees. So I don't know what to do anymore. I don't like, I've ran a business. I've seen a business come from nothing and then sell it for, I want to say he sold, his profit was like 32 million. And I don't know what to do.
Um,
I fear the future a lot. I think that I'll give you my take. So I think like in the next 5 years, like, yeah, sure, the people that use AI are going to take over the people who don't use it or utilize AI, and understanding how to use AI is going to be critical.
mhm,
If you're not already doing it, you're behind.
mhm,
And that scares a lot of people. Um, but I think even just today, um, Elon Musk said that he was going to get online by the end of the year 50 million GPU units in order to satisfy essentially make robots for the next year for 50 million people.
mhm.
And I think we might be on the cusp of good Lord, such a huge conversation. Um, what are your I think we might be on the cusp of actually moving towards socialism. I um I am I won't say that I'm a staunch capitalist, but I tend to lean heavily towards capitalism, and it has served a greater purpose for us in modern society for the past after World War II. And anywhere socialism has been implemented has been an absolute tragedy. But after AI is introduced and it creates robots, I think that we'll be in a post-labor society and labor will essentially become free. I'm not talking in the next 5 years, 10, 15, 20 years. Like labor will essentially become free. There are already factories that are completely self-efficient, self-running in China. Um, in a post-labor society, labor's free and we can move into socialism. Then everybody can be happy, go lucky. Well, what do I want to do? And the biggest tragedy or the biggest issue we'll be faced with then is like meaning in life. And I don't know what to do.
So, like, meaning in life, like, if we get to that point, like, what's the point?
Yeah, yeah,
You know? And if you get into it, what's the point now?
for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
But people, a lot of people, for their entirety of their life, you say, "What do you do?" And automatically their brain goes to, "What's my job?" As opposed to like, I've tried to shift that. Obviously, I'm not working. So, but even before then, I was like, "What's my purpose?" When people ask me that, like, "What's my purpose?"
and our purpose can't be like running a business. Our purpose,
For sure. And
so this,
I came up with an answer a long time ago, and that's why like leaving my family hurts so much, or not having my family, not being an intimate part of my children's lives hurts so much. And I'll give you the answer. Yeah, I'll give you my answer. If I don't mean to cut you off. I don't want you to lose your
no,
thought.
no, no, no.
I don't want you to lose your thought. My answer was, and I came up with this maybe 10 years ago. There's a doctor that I listen to a lot. Um, he didn't give me this answer. I came up with it on my own. Is to remove a little bit of hell, make the world a little bit cleaner, nicer for the people coming after you. And the easiest way that I thought that I could do that is to raise good children, raise decent human beings, to be able to like multiply myself in order to raise that goal. I don't know that I can do that from 1,400 miles away. I might have to eventually go back over there and like, or get custody of them. So I thought that's part of like what running was too, like to inspire people to like, you can, doesn't fucking matter where you come from. Even if you're rich, I don't care if you're rich. I love basketball. I'm sorry. I'm aiming all over the place, but I
No,
swear
that
they come all together.
I love
I,
this kind of conversation where you can just bounce back and forth and
I love basketball. So I love LeBron James. I love Kobe Bryant. I love Michael Jordan. I love all the greats. If you're great, period, you're great. Doesn't matter where you come from. Kobe came from like a relatively privileged background. Love Kobe. He had a rich father that showed him the game, everything he needed to know. He gave him all the network opportunities. So did LeBron. Came from nothing. He came from no father in the house. His father's not in his life. He lived homeless. His mom was a crackhead. It doesn't matter. Once you get on that court, it doesn't
mm,
matter. So it doesn't matter if you're rich. I know I always put like the opposition meaning between like, oh, people on the west side, they're
yeah,
humans just like
yeah.
like we are.
They're just not exposed to
Yeah.
it's
They
just
might be hard too. I don't
different.
know.
Yeah,
Don't underestimate
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. You're right. Have you thought about starting your own podcast or
Definitely.
why don't you do it, man? I have all the shit here. Come use the studio.
Shit.
No, I'm being serious.
I might, man. I might.
These past
Everybody that I talk to, that I really talk to and are close to me, most people don't like me because I'm an asshole and I'll call them out. Like I'll coldly call them out, like, this is what you're doing wrong, this, and this, because I've been conditioned to like be emotionless about a lot of shit. And so people will like be upset about that. And I recognize I'm a robot. I recognize I need to work on that. I recognize I need to work on my pillow talk. Um, a lot of people around me like, bro, you should start one. And I'm like,
or even so what I've been doing lately because there's money there and I don't think I have the time uh to dedicate to coaching, but I've been on the business side. I think I've had so many failures and
mm-hmm,
I'm currently going through a crazy time um where offering 60-minute clarity sessions with other CEOs, other leaders, minority leaders, where I have them fill out a questionnaire and I walk them through shit that they're really not paying attention to in their business through my own experience and failures. I've done a few of those and I fucking love it, bro,
yeah,
because the feedback I'm getting from these individuals is just like, fuck, I wish I would have had this 3 years ago. And it's basically just me sharing um, my thoughts through my failures,
mm-hmm,
lived and learned experience, right? So where I'm getting at is it can be very lucrative for you to share um, and motivate and coach people.
mm-hmm,
And you don't need to have a fucking title or a certificate as a coach.
for sure.
Or I train, 'cause a lot of people are like, oh, well, you have to get this, get certified life coach, certified this. Nah,
Yeah,
people don't give a shit about that.
yeah.
People care about people, and people are gonna go in and go through your social media, read whatever
That's my
fucking
resume.
stories, and that's what's okay. You know what? Like, okay, and when you own certain things, and my blogs, I email them out, and And I started a weekly newsletter too, which is just me sharing my fucking thoughts. It's
Yeah.
probably stupid, and half the time when I'm done writing them, I'm like, okay, well, this is lame.
Hold on, hold on,
But
hold on. Can I touch on that real quick?
yeah,
You love your kids?
I love my kids,
Okay.
bro.
Who convinced you that that was a stupid idea, or why does that come into your head? Into your
It's
head?
it's it's just
Does it seem like narcissistic? Is that what you think? Yeah. Yeah.
a lot of times, yeah. And
So you do your kids look up to you?
oh yeah, bro. Like as far as yeah,
Five, well, they're already grown, but
I have 6 kids.
10, 15, 20 years from now, they're going to go back and read those things like, fuck. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you're not writing it for you.
And I get personal with that. So like I
Yeah.
don't like call them out by names, but if I'm going through shit with my kids, I'll write about it. And I don't care. I like sharing the good, bad, and ugly, like it's just
Same.
we have to, man. We have to share that shit because there's someone's going to read that. And if it's just one person that reads that, be like, oh fuck, it's not just me.
I don't like social media for that purpose. Exactly. And that's why like I try to share some of the shit, but also like some of the stuff I'm going through legally, like I can't. I was writing these stories like, hey, part one, part two, part three. And then I went down to Arizona and touched base and I was like, oh, fuck, I can't write that anymore.
But yeah, it's just that it's also the imposter syndrome because,
Hmm.
society, the people that have these fucking wonderful weekly, monthly newsletters where they're, whether it's for leaders, personal development, whatever, they don't look like me.
Hmm.
They don't sound like me. So I think a lot of it is the imposter syndrome. And what I've done with this agency too, bro, that's a whole nother fucking like book and series of the shit I've gone through trying to help people.
Hmm.
Um, and it's always like our own people tearing me down and taking advantage and twisting and doing and ooh, that's a whole nother thing that I'm working. That's a whole nother legal thing that I'm working through right now. Just I'm like, I've always been kind of cool, but and I have a lot of people to say things and do things or whatever. But this time I'm going after, and it doesn't even compare. I don't even want you to think I'm comparing it, but you say you're going after fucking, Smash. Cool, but I feel like I'm going with the same energy. It's not even I have the fucking receipts, and this is what it is. Like that's where I'm at right now in my life. Like,
I'm not the smartest. I'm not the strongest. I'm not the cutest. Like I'm not going to stop. That's the only thing that ever separated me.
yeah,
People ask me like, how did you do that? How'd you start a business? I just, when you were like, you said you wanted to start a business, you sat down with me, you came into my shop and asked me how you wanted to start a business. I will give you all of the playbook. Go do it. Like, oh, the shop opens at noon, but I was up at 6 every day. I
yep.
was
The
fucking,
first one to show up, the
yeah,
last one to leave, kind of thing.
exactly.
You have to
Yeah.
have that
Yeah.
mentality, and the way I've always thought about it, man, is we go back to where the fear of freedom, right? You have an opportunity to own your own schedule,
Yeah.
choose your own fucking hours, do all that stuff. And a lot of people,
They sell comfort.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, this is good. I get paid every Friday. I work da da da. I don't do anything on the weekends. And then they bitch about it all the
Mhm.
time. But then the second they have an opportunity to do something about it, they're like,
You take major losses
I
too.
don't know.
No
Oh,
risk,
fuck.
no
People
risk
do.
it, no
Yeah.
Rari.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's not for everyone, but it should be for everyone. Everyone should feel empowered and what?
So I started that business, and I told my dad, and me and my dad, I love my dad. We get along for the most part. And he asked me, like, I got the license and I got the insurance, and I called my brother. I was the first one. I want to talk to you about that too. I called my brother. I called my dad, and I was like, hey, it's ready to go. It's good. It's good to go. I'm going to do it. And he's like, aren't you scared? I was like, fuck yeah, I'm scared. Fuck yeah, I'm scared. But I'm more scared of like failing. I'm more scared of figuring out, like never figuring out who
Mhm,
I am. I'm
mhm.
more scared of like being a 9 to 5, 40 hours a week for 30 years. And then maybe I get sick and they let go of me. Fuck yeah, I'm scared. And then the conversation I had with my brother, me and my brother are like, this is when I realized like nobody fucking believes in you. So all of those people that are coming against you and that, like, fuck them. And if anybody like loves you and actually wants to see you grow, fuck yeah, I love both of them. But here's where like I realized nobody's coming for you. Nobody believes in you like you're supposed to believe in yourself. So before I started the business, I took like 9 months every day I was working the same shit, 6 o'clock to like 11 o'clock at night. Just like taking pictures of clothes. It was rinky dink. People didn't believe. They're like, oh, this is cool. It's a nice little
Mhm.
job. You're making a couple few dollars over here. Cool. And then I went and got all of the shit. I got my license. I got whatever I needed for the business. I didn't do an LLC. I got a sole
Mhm.
proprietorship.
Mhm.
Should have got the LLC. But I called my brother. We're like this. And he's seen me doing this for the like past 9 months, taking pictures, hiring models, going to the mall, going back and forth to the mall. Say like, hey, what do I got to do? What do I got to do? What do I got to do? That's a story too. Um, I call my brother. I'm like, hey, bro, it happened. They accepted me. I'm going to be in the mall. And I thought he was going to be like, oh, yeah, fuck yeah, bro, let's go. Hell yeah, let's do this. What do you need? I can help you. He's like, are you going to do it?
What?
I didn't say this. Am I going to fucking do it? What the fuck have I been talking about for the past time? What the fuck have I been working? Fucking right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fucking going to do this. Yeah. Well, and I realized like nobody believes in you. The way like you believe in yourself, you need to have like a borderline psychopathic drive in order to
Oh
get
yeah.
anything done. Yeah. And modern society, I believe this is my belief. Modern society has demonized those type of people because there's always been a use for a person that was like a psychopath 200 years ago that would
Mhm.
roll into the next village. I need these resources for my
Mhm.
family. I'm
Mhm.
going to take what I need and I'm going to bring it back to mine. And we're going to impose our will. And the people that are like that today run businesses. The people that are like that today have millions of dollars. The people that are like that today are on TV getting buckets. They're the actors. The people who are going to shine are going to shine. And I don't know about balance. I don't know about balance.
Yeah.
But
That doesn't exist when you're running a business, man.
yeah. Um, People ask, I break it down to like you need to take your dream and shove it down people's fucking throats. You do not accept no. You might fail, but you could fail at something you don't want to do
Yep.
anyways.
Yep. Well,
So yeah,
yep. I feel the same way. I feel that you look at all these success stories. How many times did all these
I love Nike.
the failures? You know.
There's a lot of them, but I recently like Nike was like a big one of mine because I still wear Nike. Grew up playing basketball. Nike could have been gone so many times, and it's a fucking juggernaut now. It's on the Fortune 500. It's on the yeah, it's one of the Fortune 500. It's one of the biggest companies in the world now. Importing influence all over the world now, and they come from 100 miles that way from where we come from. So like,
Yeah.
that motherfucker can do it. I can't. I went and seen where he came from. Like, oh, hmm, okay.
And we're just one step, one decision away, always from that big break.
Hmm.
Um. And
Don't get it confused. He was a crazy
and
motherfucker, and he went after it like crazy too. But like,
you have to, man.
yeah,
You have to want it more than anyone else.
mm-hmm,
And the second you lay your head on that pillow, you better believe that there's someone out there that's trying to chase the same dream that's up still,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
crafting, doing something. So don't sleep on it
mm-hmm,
because there's always someone out there that wants it a little more than you do. You want to be that person. You
mm-hmm,
want to be the one that wants it more than the next. And people don't understand that, man.
yeah,
They don't understand. Like, why would he? Oh, Umberto got sued for this, Umberto this and that. And they're like, wow, that's gonna be the I'm like, bro, like, do you understand business?
yeah. The wave is coming, bro.
This is it. Like,
Yeah,
this is what we all deal with, but you're here in your bubble, super comfortable,
mm-hmm.
um, with whatever idea of a life you've been, sold. Um, you don't understand what it takes to do some of the stuff.
A lot
I
of the
mean,
times they've outsourced their thinking to the group because
mm-hmm.
it's safe that way.
Yep,
Because it's
it's safe
yeah. I don't mean to like look at how big and tough I am, but I'm out here scared as fuck too, bro. Just like anybody else.
every day.
Yeah.
Every day, man, I come here and or I go home and I'm up late and I don't know, man. Life's a struggle, but we also have, despite the picture that's painted, we do still have some control, and I think it's slowly slipping away. We got to do something, man. I just feel like, for me, it's like, hey, Humberto, you need to pull the trigger now. Like, right, senor.
I'm gonna get out of here. I have been in your hair too long.
Oh, you're good.